Thoughts on Gilas Pilipinas and their FIBA Asia Cup campaign. After getting blown out by Australia in the quarterfinals of the FIBA Asia Cup, Gilas Pilipinas is faced with some hard questions. At the mandatory press conference following an 84-60 thrashing at the hands of defending FIBA Asia Cup champions Australia, Gilas Pilipinas coach Tim Cohn couldn't help but marvel at the Boomers' level of skill and play. The Australian athleticism and length, even though you see it on video, when you get up there and start playing against it on the court, you realize that they're very superior, the decorated coach said. So we just had a hard time staying in front of them. We had a hard time challenging their threes, and they moved the ball really well and they got up shots quick. They played at a really good pace. We were trying to keep it at a slower pace, but we just didn't have enough discipline to do that throughout the game. Make no mistake, Australia are the heavy favorites in this tournament. They have won the last two editions and are undefeated in FIBA Asia Cup play since joining the Asia and Oceania zones were merged in 2017. And this version of the Boomers in Jeddah doesn't even have their NBA players. You have to play a perfect game to even have a chance at beating Australia, and sadly, Gilas was, to put it gently, far from perfect. Already missing Calvin Oftana and CJ Perez, the team shot just 8 of 33 to 24%, from deep and 22 of 69 to 32% overall. In contrast, the Boomers came out hot, hitting 3 triples in a row and finishing the game with a 43% shooting clip, including 11 of 30 from beyond the arc. While acknowledging Australia's superiority, Cohn also felt his team didn't play up to its potential. "I really like our team. I like the way we play. I like the togetherness. They're all good guys and they're easy to coach, but didn't like our performance Wednesday night," he said. "I didn't think we stepped up as much as we wanted to. So the tournament is over for us, and in the big scheme of things, we're not pleased with what happened, but like I said, this is a great team to be around, and I'm really proud and honored to be on this team and with these guys, but tonight was not a good performance for us." That being said, here's a quick rundown on Gilas' performance and what lies ahead. The usual culprit, preparation time. It's tiring to be beating the same drum over and over again, but you just can't prepare for 2 weeks for an international tournament and expect good results. Yes, the whole purpose of having a tight pool is to breed familiarity and have players simply pick up where they left off. But since many players in the pool are also usually playing deep into each PBA conference, their bodies haven't fully recovered yet by the time Gilas practices start. Calvin Oftana, CJ Perez, and Junmar Fajardo all looked worn down, to be frank. The PBA was the only major Asian league still playing in July. The Korean and B-League players in the Gilas pool started their off-season as early as May. Clearly, adjustments must be made on the home front. The three-point shot was an issue, on both ends. When someone like Calvin Oftana, who shot a respectable 36% from deep in the last PBA conference, shoots just 15% in the FIBA Asia Cup, then you know your team's in trouble. Gilas Pilipinas ranked 12th overall and last among the 8 quarterfinalists in three-point shooting, hitting just 30.1% of their shots. Even Jericho Cruz in Guam managed to shoot slightly better at 30.7%. Other supposed shooters were just as bad. Chris Newsom made just 1 of 8, Scotty Thompson 2 of 12, and Dwight Ramos 7 of 34. Only Justin Brownlee, 14 of 29, and Kevin Kuyumbao 12 of 27 had decent percentages. It cannot be stressed enough that in international competition, three-point shooting is a must. To compound matters, Gilas also couldn't defend well from beyond the arc. In the 5 games they played, they surrendered 11.6 triples as defenders were often left scrambling to challenge opponents' perimeter shots. Overall, Gilas opponents shot exactly 40%, 58 of 145, from deep. Kai Sato was sorely missed, and KQ was magnificent. It's plain to see that Gilas Pilipinas is a different team when Kai Sato is on the floor. The team could have used his 15.5 FEP and 12.5 RUP that he registered in the November 2024 FIBA Asia Cup qualifying window, when Gilas beat New Zealand for the first time ever. His mere 7'3" presence alone in the paint, plus his ability to stroke the three, are both game changers. Gilas needs Kai to bolster a rather problematic frontline rotation. While AJ Edu performed admirably, The sad reality is that Japeth Aguilar is turning 39 in January, and Junmar Fajardo has been targeted on pick-and-roll coverages since 2013. On the plus side, Kevin Quiambao used the FIBA Asia Cup to formally announce himself as the future of Gilas Pilipinas. He shot 55% from the field, including a ridiculous 76% on two-point shots, while averaging 12.0 puck in less than 20 minutes of action. KQ had that quiet confidence about him that wasn't there yet a year ago, at least in international competition. He wasn't afraid of the moment, as evidenced by those two huge triples he sank in overtime against Saudi Arabia. He also top-scored against Australia with 16 points, which included 3 triples in the second quarter. At just 24 years old, he still hasn't hit his ceiling. What about the World Cup qualifiers? Tim Cohn has made it clear several times that he prefers to stick with a small pool of players, and he said as much after the loss to Australia. "We put this team together for the long term and trying to get them to grow together and get better," he said. "And if we're gonna just go ahead and change personnel, then we're all back to zero again. So we're gonna use this and try to make some adjustments." Gilas will next see action in the November window of the 2027 FIBA World Cup qualifiers, where they will once again face Australia and New Zealand. Cohn is hoping for a complete lineup by then. "The big missing piece for us is Kai Sato, and hopefully we get Kai, and that makes us a little bit more competitive. But at this point, it's really too early to look and say, well, this is what we need at this point. We gotta really digest this. We gotta look at video. We gotta see what's going on and go forward." Still, one has to wonder if maybe a few minor lineup changes are in the offing. Jamie Malonzo barely played and is reportedly on the outs with Ginitra team management after he decided to go to Japan, so a roster spot just might open up. Perhaps for Renzo Bando. The team also clearly needs some shooting, so what about former Gilas shooters Matthew Wright, Arvin Tolentino, R.R. Pogoy, or Javi Gomez de Liano? Jordan Heading has long expressed his willingness to play for Gilas again, and judging from his play last season, he could certainly be an asset. The next 3 months will certainly be worth watching.